Hello, my name is Sarah. I am the Literacy and Volunteer Services Manager at Monterey County Free Libraries. Today, for the close of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're going to do a maker on repujado, which is embossing. And this is a kind of just-in-time, do it at home with what you have on hand repujado, but it does work. So you need a pencil or some kind of nubby point in order to do the embossing work. You can use the end of a paintbrush as well. I have a piece of cardboard that I am going to use underneath the foil and underneath my print. So, and then for decorating it, you can use Sharpies. I have Sharpies here. You can use acrylics, which I also have some acrylics here. And I understand that watercolors work as well. And you need aluminum foil. And the one special thing that I would do is make sure you get heavy duty aluminum foil because it does not work very well with a thinner gauge. So I have a kind of simple black and white images that I have printed from the internet, and what you would do with that is place them in layers. So first the layer of cardboard, and then the aluminum foil, and then the image, and you will be tracing the image over it, and then that will push down to make the embossing in the aluminum foil. And I have one that I did. I'm not sure if you can see the texture here, but yeah, you can. So this one I did earlier as a run through. And then you're welcome when you're doing this after to cut out the shape or leave it in a square and put it in a frame, or just paint it and do however you like with it. If I had time, I would get a thicker gauge than the heavy duty aluminum foil, but it certainly works. So you take off the amount you need. And then again, like I said, the stack goes cardboard, aluminum foil, and then image. And I'm going to trace over that image with the pencil, and I'll show you. So you just go over the image on top of the white paper, and you press kind of hard, and you are then semi-embossing the image into that aluminum foil. And you can see your process because if you use a pencil, you can see where you've kind of marked over. And this is a very forgiving way of doing this because if you mess up, it's, first of all, aluminum foil isn't very expensive, and then second of all, see how I went out of the line there, that you can just thicken the line and then it still looks pretty nice. So I'm just going over each part, and you want to, if I had done this smarter, I might have taped the image over the aluminum foil so that it stayed in case I need to get up and leave, but instead I'll just work straight through, because if you move it, then sometimes it's not lined up when you come back, and you have to basically start over unless you've got a great eye for lining it back up again. So you can just press. You can find the thicker gauge online if you are looking for it, but a good start might be using the aluminum foil because then you're not investing a lot of money into something that you're not sure you'll like yet. And I have poked through before on the outline, the tracing, and sometimes it ruins the aluminum foil and then other times it doesn't. So if you poke through, hopefully it doesn't ruin your tracing, but you may have to start again. And I can kind of feel where it's rubbed and see that I've already done it. And I think the thicker you have underneath, the better for the tracing. I've done it with layers of just plain paper and that worked fine, but this time it seems to be taking much better and I have this thick cardboard underneath my image. So once you have everything traced, you can feel it to make sure you've got everything. Then you can separate the two and see your embossing. There we go. And so from there, I might, for this one, I might just paint it and then cut it out. So we can go from there. I'm going to start with blues, but again, Sharpies are great for this. You can just color right onto the aluminum foil. Just make sure that you don't color yourself. I took a painting class and they mentioned doing your colors and then doing the outline in at the end with the black. And that was a very good piece of advice. And so I'm going to do the same with this repujado. Okay, so perhaps here you can learn a little bit from my mistakes. DIY is all about flexing when you need to and adapting. So as you can see, these lighter colors, those are the Sharpies, and that turned out not to be as saturated as I wanted. So I went ahead and used paint for the insides. And then once again, the paint was having a hard time sticking, so I ended up dabbing it a little bit, and that's what gave it that texture. And so from here, I'm going to do the outline, and hopefully it will come out more striking at that point. And one other point of contention was that be careful the cardboard that you're using. The cardboard I used was bent in some places, and those bends came through, I think because this is aluminum foil and not a thicker grade lamina. It came through, but it'll still be okay, and it may create some nice texture, but do be careful. If your board is bent, those bends are going to come through when you're tracing your item. So I'm going to fill in I have some black, and I'm going to go ahead with paint again because the Sharpie was too light. Go ahead and fill in your outlines at the end and then see how it turns out. Okay, so I ended up going back with the paint over it with the black for my outline. And I used the end of a paintbrush for that. And I didn't outline everything. I outlined some select things. And it took a little bit of a wintry sort of theme, this flower, which I don't think was supposed to look like that, but I'm okay with it. And so there is the repujado for your altar, if you wish, or for a frame. And so I'm going to cut this out. I don't know if I told you to have scissors for this project, but I'm going to cut this out and then see what we do with it. So I hope that you have some fun and definitely don't spend a lot of money on supplies and just do something fun for Hispanic Heritage Month. And thank you for joining us as always at Monterey County Free Libraries, and we'll see you the next time.